We thank you for joining us tonight at 5. Fox 5 Local News at 6 starts right now.
This is Fox 5 Local News at 6.
To the people of Baltimore and the demonstrators across America, I heard your call for no justice, no peace. Your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of this young man.
6 Baltimore police officers are now facing charges in the death of Freddie Gray. The most serious charge, second-degree murder. Today's big announcement seemingly changed the tone in Baltimore. The crowd erupted in cheers outside the courthouse, but was justice served? We're covering every angle of this story, from reaction to what we know about the officers now charged. Our live team coverage starts right now.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Yancey.
And I'm Sarah Simmons. Let's start with the latest in the Freddie Gray death investigation. A sense of calm in Charm City tonight after a whirlwind couple of weeks as anger escalated over Gray's death in police custody.
Today, the medical examiner ruled that Gray's death is a homicide, and the city's top prosecutor announced criminal charges against the officers who arrested and transported him. Fox 5's Paul Wagner joins us now with the very latest.
One day after the Baltimore Police Department turned over its results of the investigation into the death of Freddie Gray, the state's attorney said she received a ruling from the medical examiner's office that would support charges against the officers.
The findings of our comprehensive, thorough, and independent investigation, coupled with the medical examiner's determination that Mr. Gray's death was a homicide, which we received today, has led us to believe that we have probable cause to file criminal charges.
On the day of Gray's arrest, April 12th, the state's attorney said the officers who took the 25-year-old into custody did so without having any solid evidence of a crime.
Officers Miller and Narrow then placed Mr. Gray in a seated position and subsequently found a knife clipped to the inside of his pants pocket. The blade of the knife was folded into the handle. The knife was not a switchblade and is lawful under Maryland law.
Gray was then loaded into a wagon and taken on a ride through the city streets by driver Caesar Goodson, who, according to the state's attorney, ignored Gray's frequent requests for help.
Officer Goodson, in a grossly negligent manner, chose to respond to the 1600 block of West North Avenue with Mr. Gray still unsecured by a seatbelt in the wagon without rendering to or summoning medical assistance from Mr. Gray.
When they finally arrived at the Western District Station, another prisoner was led out of the van before officers discovered Gray was in cardiac arrest.
To the people of Baltimore and the demonstrators across America, I heard your call for no justice, no peace. Your peace is sincerely needed as I work to deliver justice on behalf of this young man.
The state's attorney then said the charges against the 6 officers are not an indictment of the entire Baltimore Police Department, and ended her statement with the fact she comes from a long line of law enforcement in her family. Mosby said both of her parents were cops. All 6 officers have now turned themselves in. They're all being charged via arrest warrants, not indictments. The most serious charges have been filed against Caesar Goodson. He's the driver of the wagon. He's been charged with what's called second-degree depraved heart murder. He's also facing a manslaughter charge and a misconduct in office charge. 3 other officers are charged with involuntary manslaughter, and 2 officers are charged with assault, misconduct, and false imprisonment. At City Hall in Baltimore, Paul Wagner, Fox 5 Local News.
The police union in Baltimore is fighting back, and they're accusing the state's attorney of playing politics in the death of Freddie Gray. The union calls the charges against the 6 police officers a rush to judgment. They've even demanded a special independent prosecutor. Fox 5 Sherry Lee is live in Baltimore tonight with more on that part of the story. Sherry?
Well, Sean, tonight the police union is vigorously defending those officers and claim the charges are all about politics. The union accuses the state's attorney of moving too quickly against officers they say were just doing their job. Those 6 officers turned themselves into central booking in downtown Baltimore today. The police union claims that the charges in Freddie Gray's death are uncalled for and that the officers did nothing wrong. The union wants a special independent prosecutor brought in It believes that Baltimore's state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, is too cozy with the Gray family attorney and that her husband's position on the city council poses a conflict of interest. Mosby denies there is any conflict, but the union believes that the officers cannot get a fair trial unless the state's attorney is off the case.
No officer injured Mr. Gray, caused harm to Mr. Gray, and they are truly saddened by his death. These officers did nothing wrong. As all of the facts surrounding this case come out in the appropriate forum, the officers' lack of wrongdoing will be made abundantly clear.
From the beginning, we knew that this was a serious case. We've been working independently, and I can tell you that we put all of our resources to make sure that we were pursuing and leading where the facts took us in this case, which was to pursue justice. Mark?
Between those 6 officers who are now charged in Gray's death, the most serious one faces more than 60 years in prison as a maximum. The least serious charge faces more than 30 years maximum behind bars. Now, all those 6 officers are expected to be in court on Monday. That's the very latest here live in Baltimore. Sherry Lee, Fox 5 Local News.
Thank you, Sherry. Well, during Monday's rioting, protesters set dozens of fires. Tonight, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives is asking for your help finding the people responsible. The agency is asking anyone who may have captured videos of those fires to upload the images to the ATF's website. You can send in videos anonymously. Those fires damaged a CVS, a senior housing center under construction, 15 buildings, and more than 100 cars.
We're joined now by Fox 5's chief investigative reporter, Emily Miller, who has been in Baltimore all day while the celebrations have been going on. Emily, what's it been like there today?
I'll tell you, I'm at the corner of Pennsylvania North Avenue, and this is where the worst riots were on Monday after Freddie Gray's funeral. It is a completely different scene here now. There's actually, you hear the horns beeping around me. People are cheering, sense of huge relief. You can see the police officers are posing for pictures with kids all over the place. I mean, people love their police right now. It's a different atmosphere. Obviously, they're cheering loudly, and this group behind me in the intersection is a fraternity of professional men. They said they're out here after work in order to show their support for the decision of the prosecutor to prosecute the 6 officers for Freddie Gray's death. People on the other side of the street, which is where the officers are keeping them. You'll notice now the police are no longer wearing riot gear. They've taken that off, and they're in a sort of passive stance because things are so peaceful down here. They're just cheering. There's a lot of T-shirts. They're handing out T-shirts in different corners. A lot of people are bringing their children down to take pictures with the police officers, and you know, there's just a palpable sense of relief that the strain is over. The city is not uprising anymore, and I think things are going to be calming down a lot. I've asked several people what they think, including police officers, if the decision had been different by the prosecutors, and all said they expected it would have been a lot different scene out here if the decision had been not to prosecute. So from Baltimore, this is Emily Miller for Fox 5 Local News.
And stay with Fox 5 for the very latest on the Freddie Gray death investigation. Coming up at 6:15, we'll have more reaction from Baltimore, and you can always find the very latest on air at myfoxdc.com and online on Facebook or Twitter.
Developing tonight, some scary moments at the famed Watergate complex today. The parking garage collapsed. One person was hurt when 3 stories just started pancaking on top of each other. The collapse also destroyed 1 car. Investigators say the area has been under construction. Employees say they've been complaining about structural issues there now for months. Crews evacuated the building to make sure everyone was safe.
Looked like a war zone or something. It was nothing I've ever seen before in my life.
The whole building shook, and next thing you know, everybody hollering, "Get out."
Well, the Watergate was home to the Democratic National Committee headquarters, also the center of the political scandal in 1972 that led to President Richard Nixon's resignation 2 years later.
Fox 5's in the district where D.C. police are still looking for a teenager who attacked a man at a metro station. 18-year-old Elijah Jeremiah Smith is wanted for assaulting a 69-year-old man. The entire incident was captured on surveillance cameras. Police say Smith spit on and punched a man in the face while leaving the Eastern Market metro station. It happened on April 24th. If you know Elijah Smith, police want you to give them a call. D.C. police also investigating a deadly shooting that happened early this morning in Columbia Heights. Police say around 4 this morning, a man was fatally shot in the head on Harvard Street and 13th in Northwest. The victim was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Police do not know who the shooter is, and they're looking for more information about that deadly shooting.
Well, still ahead on Fox 5 Local News at 6.
This city needs to get back to work.
We're going to hear more from Freddie Gray's family after today's big announcement. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Our live coverage of the situation in Baltimore continues right now. There you're seeing live images from Sky Fox. These are the very front of a large group of demonstrators who've been peacefully marching through the streets. Baltimore police have been tweeting out as they've been going along. They say they're now walking on Madison Street from the Falls Way. The group continues to walk in the street. They're telling people to expect traffic delays. Now you can see, if Sky Fox could pull out here, you can see there is a massive line of people that goes back down the street. This is just the very beginning of what's been a very peaceful protest so far this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly we've seen very peaceful protests for the last couple of days, and people gathering in different areas. Of course, we've had a group that was also at City Hall, but as you can see, this group on the move here, not quite sure where their endpoint is, but today it's just been a lot of celebrations for a lot of folks too, who are really looking for these charges to be filed against the officers. So for some, this is really, a big day for Baltimore and for the community.
And what's really interesting is you look at the people in the crowd there. There are black people, there are white people, there are young people, there are old people. And it looks like right now they are walking through traffic into head-on traffic, which could cause some problems. Police are tweeting out to expect some traffic delays. Of course, this doesn't look too good because they are walking head-on into traffic there. We're going to continue to monitor the situation and take you back to Baltimore with updates throughout the rest of the newscast. About an hour ago, members of Freddie Gray's family and their lawyers spoke out about today's developments.
We are satisfied with today's charges. These charges are an important step in getting justice for Freddie.
Freddie Gray's family thanks you for the love you have shown them. Now let us all show them the fruits of that love. Real and lasting progress.
Freddie Gray's family attorney Billy Murphy called on the police department to enact changes like getting things like body cameras for police and also better training for officers out there on the streets.
Right, shedding a lot of light on this for sure.
Yeah. Well, coming up tonight, are you getting your beach body ready for the summer season?
Always trying.
It's just people making up an excuse for being out of shape.
A new trend is going viral just in time for the season to bear it all. It's called the dad bod.
What?
The dad bod? Some say that instead of abs, a little flab is the hottest new thing. We're going to explain how that's possible when we come back.
All right, let's take it outside right now. Look, sky is a little overcast out there. Question is it going to clear out? Will the sunshine reappear this weekend? Sue has your full forecast on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
We want to take you back out to Baltimore now, where Fox 5's Rick Boone has been following the peaceful protests all day, and he continues our team coverage, joining us live now with more. Rick, what are you seeing?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, with the protest, as I'm certain you've had some Fox 5 chopper video of. They're roaming. It's pretty much a roaming peace march. I guess we won't say protest. It's more of a march, a rally that's happening all throughout downtown Baltimore. It's not here in the Baltimore downtown area right now outside City Hall. But as for one of the marchers, they actually, I guess, overheated with all the excitement that's going on. They actually passed out just across the street from us here, and two medic teams had to come up, and they just got that person up off the ground, and they're now on their way, I'm guessing, to the hospital at this point. But now we're starting to see a few of the marchers who are coming back towards downtown. Once again, it is a roaming protest, a roaming march and rally. This has been going on for at least the past 2.5 hours. And my predictions is that this will be going on throughout the entire night. Everything seems to be peaceful. The chant seems to be that they're looking for more justice. They're delighted at what they got today, the news that they got got today, but they understand that this process is not over. I'll talk more about that a little bit later. This while police setups are still in place here at the police headquarters here in downtown Baltimore. It is still barricaded on all sides of the building. Officers are in place. Maryland National Guard are in place. And this is not the only location. At pretty much any location type of epicenter or population area here in downtown Baltimore, there are National Guards people, there are police officers, there are Maryland troopers in place. So even though the dialogue has changed here in Baltimore, certainly the texture, the scene, the policing has not. We'll send it back to you.
Rick Boone live for us there in Baltimore. Thank you so much. Let's switch gears a little bit here and talk about the fellas. Summer is around the corner, so have you heard about this so-called new trend?
That's right. It's called the dad bod. It's a physique characterized by undefined muscles beneath a light layer of flab. Our floor director, Mark, is patting his belly right now.
Yeah.
All right, so you
do not need to pat.
Do you want to know where this new trend began? It appears a student at Clemson University wrote a story that went viral within hours. The author claims girls love dad bods because it allows them to feel like the pretty ones.
It's so
They're
mean.
good at cuddling, and they're always up to a good pig out. Well, not everyone thinks this new trend is going to catch on.
It's just people making up an excuse for being out of shape.
I'm not a fan of beer bellies, I have to be honest. So I would say no to that fad.
No to the dad bod.
No to the dad bod.
I don't think it's the beer belly. It's just a slight little pooch there. A recent British survey found 75% of British women prefer love handles over six-packs. You know what? I love my husband just the way he is.
But I'll never turn down a
Fabulous.
six-pack or washboard abs.
You won't? Okay. I think if that showed up on my husband, I would be really nervous. I'm like, what is up with
They
that?
can spray paint those on, apparently.
really can.
They're like, shh, they can make it all
The men can wear
fabulous.
Spanx.
They sure.
They
yes.
do.
They have the Manx.
Manx.
shows.
I
So
love
when you're out
that.
in
public,
They can double Manx if they need to.
Or just let it all hang out. We love you
That's
just
right.
the way you are.
Yes,
you know?
And very soon we will be hanging out because we've got a warm-up on tap, and now the month of May has started. Pools usually
That's right.
open Memorial Day weekend,
right.
4 weeks away.
That's right.
Oh boy, I've got my work cut out for me. Once again, I won't be at a pool this year. But you know what? Nobody's there this weekend. Well, actually, you might be tempted because the weekend's going to be delightful. But they're in the process of getting the pools ready. And of course, today, a little bit on the gray side with a few peaks of sun here and there and a couple of isolated showers. But let the warm-up begin in earnest on Sunday. A pretty significant warm-up, too, where we think we're going to go 5 days in a row above 80 degrees. Not today, though. 64 degrees at Reagan National. That's actually below average, which is 71 now. Dulles 63, BWI only in the 50s. The reason we're so cold, the wind direction out of the northeast. So feeling that Atlantic Ocean, that maritime air, and especially right along the west side of the bay here, you really notice it before the rest of us. Leonardtown only 54, Annapolis 58, and Baltimore 56 degrees. Mostly 60s tonight, and with the clouds around tonight, we will keep temperatures from falling too far. 40s to low 50s ought to do it for tonight. But I wanted to show you the bigger picture because here comes the warmer air. It's 72 in Cincinnati, Nashville 71, Little Rock 73, and St. Louis 69 degrees. Now tomorrow our winds are still out of the north, so we'll keep our temperatures in the low 70s, but eventually we're going to tap some of this heat and get the 80s rolling into town. Here's Sunday's forecast at 79 degrees, a little contrast to tomorrow. Tomorrow I think we'll have a few clouds from time to time. We only get up to about 71 because winds are out of the north. And with that north wind, we could have an isolated shower because the air will be colder aloft. So I think that would be very, very hit or miss. It's really only about a 15 or 20% chance of anybody seeing that. So don't let it spoil your Saturday plans. It's still going to be a great day. And then we're up to 79 degrees on Sunday, a warm day. A lot of places in central Virginia likely getting up and over 80 degrees. Now tonight, a lot of clouds, but very few showers, although a notable exception right along Interstate 81 here that we've been watching for the last little while. Occasionally has some lightning with it and certainly occasionally has some heavy downpours. Now this is moving out of Greene and into Albemarle County. Harrisonburg getting a little bit of rain as well. It will keep moving south, so it's not going to ruin your night, but give it about 30 more minutes to get out of the way. Up to the north, we had also been watching a little patch getting closer to Hagerstown. That seems to be pretty weak, but there are a few more in the pipeline, and we'll see if they can hold together before the sun goes down here at 8 o'clock tonight. So your futurecast really has only the spottiest chance of a shower going through the overnight hours, and I think we'll have a little bit of cloud cover around in the morning, but it breaks up by noon. If we see a shower or two, it would be very spotty. A little better chance that that shower could occur east of 95 because you'll still be sort of in the regime of that departing area of low pressure. And then we warm things up, as mentioned. For Sunday, 51 degrees tonight, a lot of clouds around, and again, a few showers, mainly far to the west. Your 7-day forecast, wow, warming it up. We're not just going to be close to average. We are going to be way above average starting on Sunday and continuing through Monday and Tuesday, maybe a couple of showers around in the Wednesday time frame, possibly a few on Thursday as well, but not a lot right now. And even next Friday, around 82 degrees, so a real nice stretch of weather in the pipeline. May is looking good and off to a great start. Back to Sean and Sarah.
Thank you, Sue. Well, still ahead tonight at 6, a California man risked his own life to save his pal.
Raised both hands in the air, and I cussed at him.
And we're not talking about any old pal. We are talking man's best friend. Look at that cutie. We're coming back. All right, tonight at 6 here, if you came face to face with a bear, what would you do?
I would play dead. I heard that's what you're supposed to do. But this man didn't. A California man had to make that decision last week when a black bear nearly killed his tiny little dog, Lacey. Carl Moore says the bear got in his front yard and he wasn't about to let the bear kill his dog. So he charged the bear. He's showing what he did here. He punched that bear right in the face. Boo, sucker. Boom.
Come up like this, and he turned, boom. I hit him hard. Tyler said I near corkscrewed his head. This guy's a jerk, but he ain't been back since he got smacked by Carl.
He lived to tell about it?
There you go. Fish and Wildlife Rangers believe the bear was actually after Mr. Moore's chickens. He has chickens on his property. But thank goodness he saved his dog. I would not recommend charging a bear and booming him right in the face like that.
But good for him at the same
I
time.
didn't know bears were carnivores. I guess they are. I thought they like grain and birdseed and stuff like that.
I think they like anything.
They'll probably eat anything, you're right. Because that was never in Yogi Bear's picnic basket.
Yeah, you know,
that is very true. All right, thank you, Sue. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight at 6.
Of course, news always on myfoxdc.com. Keep it here. TMZ coming up next.